Hi, this is Cool K from Countyfairgrounds in Denver.
Yeah.
Do I have the Joey Mills who's in charge of the Mississippi Comic-Con coming on?
Well, I don't know if I'd say I'm in charge, but yes. Otherwise, you were right on.
Hi, you're in charge of public relations, right?
Yeah, I do the press stuff, and I'm the lead MC for the event.
Okay, so it's June 20th, 21st, Mississippi Trademark Jackson.
Actually, it's 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Right, okay. I thought that's what I said, but yeah. It's at the Mississippi Trademark. These events go on all over the country. When did this Comic-Con thing start? Do you know?
Specifically in Jackson, in Mississippi, last year was our 10th year anniversary, so this will be year number 11 for this particular show.
Yeah, I think I've interviewed you guys before, but it's been quite a while. I've been interviewing for a long time. So, okay. So about how many attendees do you have? Do you know?
It depends year to year. Our attendance has continued to grow year after year, so I would anticipate this year, based on pre-sales, ticket sales, we're probably looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of around 20,000 people.
How's the parking?
It's good. There's ample parking there. We've never had any issues with people getting in, getting parked. There's not only is there ample parking on site, but there are some empty lots that are open to us to direct people to if for some reason the venue parking gets full.
Okay. Do you know how many vendors you have?
Oh, I don't. I know the last count, and it's a wide range, and I apologize for not having a more tight range for you, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 100, but I don't have a final confirmation. Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so I'm coming in the front door. What's the first thing I should do?
When you come in the front door, you're going to go through security, first of all. We do bag checks. We'll make sure if you have like a prop that looks like a weapon, like swords, Nerf guns, that kind of stuff. We check all those. We put a zip tie on them to show that they've been approved through security. And then you go right to registration. Depending on if you bought your ticket online ahead of time or if you're just buying one at the door, you'll get in different lines. Once you get through registration, the floor is yours. It's wide open. So you can go right to the vendors. You can go to the celebrities. You can go to photo ops. You can come to the Q&As or the panels. I mean, once you're in, and that pass, if you got a one-day pass, you can come and go throughout the day. If you buy a weekend pass, you're good to go all 3 days. And again, we encourage people, especially if you've got like kids, and I believe me, I know I've got 3 of them. Sometimes they get tired in the afternoons. Go get them a nap, get them something refreshing to drink or whatever, get them to relax a bit, and then come right back. Your wristband that you get is good for the entire time. So if it's a one-day pass, you can come and go throughout the day. It's the weekend pass, you're good to go all weekend. Come and go as you please.
Well, I've never been to one of these events. Like I said, I think I've interviewed you before, and I know you've been going on for a while. So you have celebrities. What do the celebrities do, and what goes on with the celebrities?
So most of the time, the celebrities will be at their table, signing autographs, meeting fans in a one-on-one, or if it's you and a friend, 2-on-1 type situation. We have photo ops, so some people will get like a professional photo with the celebrity where it's them against a fairly neutral background. And then most celebrities will do a Q&A, a 1-hour Q&A at some point during the weekend, depending on the rest of their schedule. So there's opportunities to meet celebrities one-on-one. There's opportunities in a group setting to sit, have a Q&A, listen to some stories they can tell you. Or like I said, you can get the autographs, photos, all of that stuff as well. Okay.
Having not attended one of these events before, why is it Comic-Con? Is it what's comic orientated here?
Well, a lot of our guests are in properties that are either like TV shows or movies that are based on a comic book or kind of genre adjacent, if that makes sense, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, that kind of stuff. We also have comic book creators there, so there'll be artists and writers of comic books. You can come in and talk to them about their craft, or bring your comic books with you. A lot of people will bring a rolling cart of comic books to get signed by some of the different creators. So that's where it all kind of started originally, way back when. It was really focused on comic book creators, but as comic book culture has kind of become pop culture, it's broadened to more of the celebrities and the cosplayers and all that kind of stuff as well.
So you got a whole bunch of old comic books there, do you?
There will be folks there that have a ton of old comic books. There'll be some newer stuff. Just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, a lot of our vendors bring like action figures, like, Spider-Man toys and stuff, some of the vintage, hard to find type stuff. They'll have comic books, they'll have old comics, they'll have comic books that were signed by folks at other conventions that maybe you couldn't get to, but you really like that guy's work. Well, they may have that for sale as well. So yeah, the comic book is kind of, like I said, it's where the foundation rests with the whole thing. And so kind of everything we do centers around that idea of comic books and comic book culture, and again, now pop culture that was based on, comic book type properties.
So this event goes on for 3 days. You must have a pretty big attendance.
Yeah, we're expecting around 20,000 for the weekend. So it's a good number of folks, but the venue itself accommodates that many people without a problem. We use the trademark side is where the vendors will be. That's where the photo ops will be. That's where the celebrities will be at their tables. That's where our comic book creators, our cosplay guests, all of that will be kind of on the trademark floor. Some of the smaller like side rooms, one of them will be set up for gaming. So if you want to go play arcade games, they'll have arcade games set up so you can go there. Sometimes people, local folks want to do an hour presentation on something that they're passionate about. Sometimes it's local filmmakers showing off, a demo of the film they're working on to get some feedback from an audience. Sometimes it's people just wanting to talk about whatever they want to talk about, whatever they kind of have that passion for. And so folks, if you're interested in that as well, they can go sit there for an hour and enjoy a panel. A lot of them are interactive, so the audience gets to participate. And then in the arena itself, which is attached to the trademark, that's where registration is, because it's a big open arena space. That's also where we'll have like local fan groups. They're, like a lot of the cities we go to have like a local Star Wars group where they all dress up in Star Wars costumes, or Star Trek or Ghostbusters or whatever. We'll have them out there on the arena floor as well to welcome folks, and that's where we'll also set up our stage. So like I said, if a celebrity has a Q&A, you can come sit in the arena. The stage will be right there in front of you. You can ask questions. You can talk with the celebrities to hear the stories, all of that kind of stuff there.
Okay. Is it a good event for kids under 12?
Yeah, absolutely. We have folks from, some people will bring really small kids in all the way up to, in some cases we had one group, I think they said they had like 4 generations there. They brought like great grandma and grandma and the parents and then their kids. We also encourage people to show up. We keep it family friendly, and with every adult paid ticket, you can get 2 children 10 and under in for free. We don't charge for the young ones to come in because, again, I know a lot of times they're going to wear out at some point during the day. So, let them come in, have some fun. If you need to step out for a while, feel free to do so, and then bring them back later in the day if they want to get back in and see it some more.
So there's, I take it you have a lot of food vendors then too.
Yes, there will be food vendors on site as well, so you don't have to leave, but if you choose to, if you don't see what you want, or if you have special dietary needs or whatever, like I said, that's why we allow the come and go policy, where you can just kind of pop in once you get your wristband, come and go as you please.
So your organization puts on a lot of these events across the U.S. Where's the next one coming up?
So after the MS-ComicCon, we are back in Jackson in July for it's a first-year show for us, so we're kind of building it as we go. It's going to be a Mississippi card show, so like trading cards, baseball cards, some of the Pokemon cards, that kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of vendors. We'll have some athletes and voice actors from some of those Pokemon-type shows that you can talk to again as well, or have Q&As with. And then after that, in August, we go to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a show. We've got a couple in September. I know we're in Little Rock and Mobile, Alabama in September. October, we're in Springfield, Missouri for a kind of a horror-type convention since it's October. And then I think we finish out our season the weekend before Thanksgiving out in Peoria, Illinois. So a lot of shows left to go this year.
Okay. Yeah, I know you guys have been around for a while, so you must be doing okay. So.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a different kind of a concept. Sounds like fun for the kids.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, we've had people that the first time they went to one of these was when they were bringing a grandkid. Like, I've got the grandkids for the weekend. They wanted to go do this thing, so I brought them. And we had one lady who, was almost in tears because she was just she wished she had known that these types of things took place for much sooner. She was I think she said she was like in her mid 60s, but she's like, I wish we had these types of things, or they were this big or this public, since, when I was an adult, a young adult, when I was 25, I would have loved to have gone something like this. I would have kept going for the last 40 years, but now that I'm here, it's awesome. I'll be back next year for sure. So,
well, I'll try to get you some publicity, and we'll post our interview all over, and maybe it'll help.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Joey. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Talk to you later. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.